So, welcome back to Higurashi. So, let's see, what did we do last time? We learned about Satoshi, but we don't know that much about him. Is my volume low? Hang on. Ah. 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 Quack. Nah, that might be too loud. Hang on. Actually, yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah. Alright, let's continue. Weariness and a headache. Not a very nice way to start the day. Uh-oh. Oh, I remember what's coming up next. What's wrong? Keiichi, you don't look so well. When did you go to sleep? Seemed that my mom had noticed my sullen state. Oh, right, Rena. Rena was doing some crazy shit. Yesterday, I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. Without a doubt, I felt a presence. I felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. I told myself repeatedly that it was my imagination and forced myself to try to sleep. Except, not being able to stand it, I gathered up my courage and opened the door. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night. Hello? I heard a knock on my door. Or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to get to the breakfast table without incident, I still didn't feel at ease. It might be a cold. I don't really have an appetite. Why? You do seem a little warm. Well, can you make it to school? Technically, I did go to a school, but it was mostly self-study. Wouldn't matter much if I missed a day, would it? Could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine and got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet everyone with a smile tomorrow. Bing bong! Startled, I looked back and forth between the entrance and the clock. It was 10 minutes later than when I usually met with Rena. It was Rena. Rena-chan came to get you. What are you going to do? Are you going to take the day off? Rena was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. Lunches she made were delicious, and she always looked out for me. Why would I be so scared of something like that? It wasn't Rena's fault. It was probably mine. It had to have been my cold. It just had to be. I'll rest. Sorry. And I'll go send her off for you. I'm headed off to the door. I would have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. I didn't have the nerve to meet with Rena, so I wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. Hey Sage, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hang on, let me lower myself here because I notice my head's yeah, it's picking up a little at the top. Why does the whole body move when I move my head? I didn't model this properly. Alright. Doing okay? How about you? I'm doing all... Damn. That's good. Damn it, I got, like... all my greetings and stuff jumbled a little bit. I was so sleep deprived that I quickly fell into a deep slumber. Sleepy. I had only intended to lie down for a bit, but it was almost noon when I woke up. I called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Mom and Dad had apparently driven off somewhere far away. It likely had to do with Dad's work. Just been playing Pokemon Crystal for the GBC. Got everyone at level 20 with a wave the Wooper. Oh, they're cute! Beat the normal type Gym Leader Whitney. Awesome. I think I might still have Pokemon Soul Silver somewhere. This happened every so often, so it wasn't that unusual. It would probably be back sometime after dinner. On the note it said, "The insurance card is in the cabinet. Take it and go to the hospital." There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. That's right. I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know exactly where it was. I had a light lunch, although it really was just leftovers from the morning. And just in case, went to the hospital. Normally, I'd never be here, in the middle of a weekday. Just walking around like this had me feeling guilty. It was not a feeling. Following my mom's mac and cheese. Following my mom's map, I took a road I usually never used. After walking for a bit, the hospital's sign came into view. Chirp, chirp. Erie Clinic was written in a rather stylish. Okay, gotta slow down a second. If someone ever makes like a compilation of me misspeaking, that's gonna be hilarious and embarrassing. Hilariously embarrassing. Oh yeah, I remember that movie. See, that was the one with Entei, right? Yeah. Erie Clinic was written rather stylishly on the sign. The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale on the rest of Hinamizawa, it was far too grand. It was a parking lot and even a reserved spot for buses. They must be making a mint. You're correct. Speaking of Pokemon Channel, we got a trailer for Mega Malamar. Pokemon Legends ZA. Ooh. Oh, excuse me. I just remembered, isn't there like a Pokemon that like evolved in a certain way to like try to defend itself from the heat from Heatran? But it's like a steel type. I feel like I'm making that up. When was Heatran first introduced? Was it like Platinum, or was it X and Y? I'm gonna have to do some research on this. I spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen. My Myra-san, please make your way to the examination room. Look at the little alligator right there, or crocodile. Oh, that's cute. I like it when hospitals and offices are like just have like cute things like lying around as decorations. I don't know what any Pokemon like that. Heatran was introduced in Gen 4. Oh, okay. I might be making it up. I'll have to look. I'll have to like do a search later and see. Having like cute things, having like different things decorate a space, it really speaks for the personality of the people putting it in there. Oh, I'm breathing a little heavy there. Heatran was also in the movie Arceus and the Jewel of Life. That's one I haven't seen yet. Excuse me. After properly answering all the chatty doctor's questions, he responded with the old, "It's probably a cold." They gave me a shot and 3 days worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but if it would clear away the gloomy feeling I've been having lately, then it was worth it. Yeah, probably just a cold. You just walk it off. I settled the bill and took a quick trip to the washroom. As I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between some elderly people who seemed to be regulars at the clinic. I might be reading too fast. That might be why I'm tripping over my words so much. Mostly when Ash and Friends goes to the past, so basically it predated the Legends of Arceus. Arceus. Arceus is the correct pronunciation, I think, but I keep defaulting to Arceus. Hey Flash, how's it going? How goes Higurashi? Our boy has a cold, so he went to the doctor. Yo. Oh man. Becoming regulars at a clinic. That's it gonna be in like most people's futures, and that's gonna be a future I'm gonna be dreading. Good, how about you? I'm doing pretty well. My legs still hurt a little bit. I was cooking for like a couple of hours. I forgot we had a food processor, so I was processing all the chicken by hand. Definitely don't recommend that. Of course, I had no intention of eavesdropping. If it wasn't for that word. Must have been an onikakushi. I wonder. She was still pretty young. I've got to like try to voice act a little bit. Hope your legs feel better soon. Thank you guys. I cooked I got the Five Nights at Freddy's cookbook a while back, and I just made the Thai chicken burgers. They were really good. 10 out of 10 recipe. I wonder, she was still pretty young. Might have just eloped. With whom? That man from Tokyo who visits every season. That young one with that big camera. Didn't you know they were getting along pretty well? Was they talking about Tomitaki-san? I can feel my ears perking up. I don't know about that. Nice. But you have to make preparations before you elope. Leave a note or quit their job or something. It's an elopement because they didn't leave a note or a message. The thought I'll never see that young nurse's face again makes me rather sad. Takano-san was an upstanding young woman. She'll be fine wherever she goes. So his name was Takano-san. That woman was Tomitaki-san. And she worked at this clinic? Yashiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but they began to talk about fishing and didn't seem like they were going to revisit the topic, so I gave up and left. Thus, even though I was separated from the daily monotony of school, I wasn't able to escape Yashiro-sama's shadow. But of course, Yashiro-sama was the guardian deity of this place, of Hinamizawa. As long as I was in Hinamizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. He's following us. He's just standing there. Menacingly! Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite had suddenly returned. I might as well buy a snack with the change from the examination fee on my way home. Contemplating that, I turned onto a familiar street. At that moment, I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. Was I really walking so far in the middle of the road, where I'd be in a car's way? I moved farther to the side, but the horn was still honking at me. I turned around, peeved. Oh, it's you. My Bara-san. Good day to you. It was Oishi-san. He stepped out of his car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. What's up today? Oh, what's up today? School's on break? Just not feeling well, so I took the day off. I was about to buy lunch and head back home. That's great. I'm just about to get lunch myself. Would you mind going together? If you're not feeling up for it, then don't mind me. I was just going to lie down after going home anyway. And I didn't really have a cold. I doubt you'd want to eat at one of these. I doubt you'd want to eat at one of these local places. Oh, that's him talking shit. I doubt you'd want to eat at one of these local places, so let's go into town. Oh shit, I'm changing his voice up a little bit. I'm not being consistent. It's a bit of a drive, but... Drive, is that alright? I know a pretty good place. Damn it. Okay, I gotta be consistent. What was I doing before, in the last stream? I'd finally begun to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying things. He probably wanted to talk to me about stuff that would be difficult to discuss while in Mizawa. I went with Oishi-san, riding in his frigid car. It was almost as if the bright sunlight outside was a lie. How high does he have his AC on? I'm sorry about calling you so late last night. Did your parents get angry at you? No. I called Rena, who had been listening to the phone conversation all that time. Separated from me by just the door. Even now, in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. With the big bump that jolted the car, the road connecting to the city changed from dirt to pavement. My head swiveled back with a sudden realization. That's right. This was where Tomitake-san died. They've had a snag on the They've hit a snag on the investigation regarding Tomitake-san. Yeah, this sounds about right. At least to me. I don't know if it sounds right to everybody else. I need to work on my guy voice. Oishi-san spoke while peering at me from the corner of his eye. They believed it was caused by hallucinogens, given how he was clawing out his own throat. But a drug that could cause that to happen so suddenly is extremely hard to go by. Good voice choice. Thank you. At first I was trying to emulate what I've heard from the anime, but I don't think it's working out. Just need some fine tuning. Yeah, I'll get to work and I'll start practicing after this. Bear in mind, of course, the autopsy was done with that premise in mind. But we didn't find any leads. You know that thing you see in the comics all the time? Or there's a drug that, if you put it in them, it doesn't leave any traces? It exists. Wait, is he still talking, or is Keiichi talking? I can't tell. Also, this is a very difficult word. Hang on. Suchin le. Suchin little. Something or other. Well, it's pretty common. But you see, there doesn't seem to be any kind of drug that would cause Tomitake-san to react like that. Then you're saying the police concluded Tomitake-san just died from the curse? I couldn't help but feel that the police were worthless. I just wanted the idea of a curse to be disassociated from Tomitake-san's mysterious death. Unfortunately, that's how it looks right now. But putting aside the cause of death, without a doubt he was surrounded by a group of people and had taken a beating before he died. That was no curse, but an incident that unquestionably involved other humans. That made me a bit relieved. Yay, no curse. But, oh no, people did it. I don't know. It feels like it's a lose-lose situation no matter how you look at it. If it's a curse, then there's no way to stop it. Or no clear-cut way to stop it. If it's other people, they got no leads to arrest those people. And if it's both... Oh shit. Yeah, if it's both, that makes it 100 times worse. We passed him. Sorry. We passed in front of the rather desolate, but still busier than Hidemizawa train station. The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot, and I followed Oishi-san into the shop. It was pretty crowded, but there were only adults at this hour. Of course, there wouldn't be children in here in the middle of a weekday. Two, please. Two, please. Not smoking. This way, please. When you're ready to order, please call me over. We were led by a peculiarly dressed waitress to our table. Sat with Oishi-san in the booth. So, what do you think? Aren't the waitress's outfits here cute? Huh? Well, I guess. So this restaurant is going to be very, very important in the next chapter. All I can pretty much tell you is it's the Japanese equivalent of Hooters. Yeah. This shop is always quite busy. It's more about the waitresses than the food, you see. Huh. Oishi-san, you're leering. Am I really? Oh, goddamn. Makes sense. Regardless of how the waitresses looked, the food was decent enough. Finishing our meals while talking about some inane topic, Oishi-san's after-meal cup of coffee arrived at the table. Yesterday we talked about Hidemizawa's past, didn't we? Yeah, that was the village of man-eating demons or something like that. I didn't know much about it myself, so I asked my grandmother about it this morning. Oishi-san took out a notepad that was stuffed into his breast pocket. Turns out, Hidemizawa used to be called Onigafuchi, or Ogre's Abyss. Onigafuchi? That's quite the name. The name's still around. The marsh where the Shinto priest's wife drowned herself is still called Ogre's Abyss. It's said that the depths of that marsh connects to the realm of demons. Of course, nobody told me anything about such an ominous marsh. And you see, it appears they were both feared and revered. A respect born of fear. I guess you can say it was a kind of deification. A village of inhuman creatures. Seems the demon were senin, or mountain-dwelling mystics of sorts. Taking villagers with incurable illnesses into the Ogre's Abyss, and healing them, for example. Funny thing, I just saw a video about a piece of folklore in Washington called Mel's Hole. Basically, it is rumored to be... It might be a hoax, but... This man called into this radio show, sharing that he found a hole, a bottomless hole, somewhere in Washington. And basically, somewhere along there, a hunter threw his dead dog into the hole, and the next day he found the dog like wandering around, but the dog wouldn't come back to him. It's a very, if you're interested, look up Madame Macabre. She talks about this. That's where I first heard about it. Interesting. I believe it's been debunked, but it is still an interesting piece of folklore nonetheless. Even if we are calling them demons, Tengu, long-nosed goblins, or Senin would be a more apt description. They don't seem like terrible people. They don't seem like such terrible people, even when they were called demons. Even though they were called demons. But they're still man-eating demons. Oh, wait. I had it backwards. Let me try this again. They don't seem like such terrible people, even though they were called demons. But they were still man-eating demons. According to the story my grandma told me, as payment for treating the son's illness, let us eat the mother who brought him here. Was apparently how things went. The price for curing her son was herself? That's unsettling. Of course, the mother took her son and ran. Then, you see, all the people who lived in Onikafuchi, the demons chased them down, rounded them up, and captured them. The entire village. Oh, the entire village, apparently. That's quite a frightening thing to imagine. In the end, it seems both mother and son were caught and eaten. The end. Yikes. There's a problem with the story. Both witnesses in the story were eaten, so nobody would be able to tell the tale. Huh? There are plenty of old fables like this. In contrast to the ghastly tale, Uishi-san laughed heartily while sipping his coffee. But, well, there are quite a few other tales, where demons from Onikafuchi band together to capture their prey. I recall that Mion said that all the villagers were united against the dam construction. I saw similarities with how that part about unification overlapped. Normally, they hunted down a single person, and they chose who it was going to be beforehand. Huh? That caught my attention. Uishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant. My grandmother told me, you must never interfere with the demon's hunt. You should just hole up in your house and hide under the covers, she said. So, what does all this mean? It means you mustn't ever help or protect the prey. As long as you don't disturb the demon's hunt, no harm will fall upon the villagers. It seems there's a kind of rule. Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you don't see the atrocities. In other words, what happens if you break the rule? Well, They're eating demons after all. Many parts of that tale caught my attention. Parts of the story he told me overlapped with this theory that the perpetrators were all village families. Even if it wasn't the whole village, it was conceivable that the villagers were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die. When there's a group that was on their hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare speak it. That is wild. A lot of parallels are being drawn between the villagers and the demons. But yeah, this is like laying out the groundwork for how things are gonna go. And once the shoe drops, shit's gonna go crazy. Then Oishi-san, I guess it looks like it's either the village families or a group of villagers perpetrating the crimes. What do you think, my bar-san? Excuse me. Another cup of coffee, please. That's what I wanted to know. Seemed that we were both waiting for the other to say the last part. I waited for the waitress to finish pouring coffee before speaking. Last year, I had a nagging feeling when Satoshi-kun disappeared. Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl around in his coffee. So, those friends of Satoshi-san, meaning your group of friends, my bar-san. I had a bit, really, just a little bit, okay? A background checking done on them. If Oishi-san had said this to me before, I would have been furious since he told me earlier not to suspect my friends. But as I was now, I couldn't. This might sound pretty stupid. My bar-san, if you feel it's stupid, please say so. I'll just stop. Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression I'd ever seen from him. It was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. There were quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as threatening as this. A little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Keiichi. This was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. Well, he said just a little bit of background checking, not a lot. Yeah. I mean, you don't really just do a little bit of background checking. I think he was really saying that just to try to ease the impact on Keiichi a little bit. I would not run from the truth. Please. That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my eyes silently for a few moments. After he was certain I was ready, he began. Real quick, I just want to point out the food on this. Let's see, what am I looking at here? That looks like a kind of pasta dish right here with some. Let's see, what is that? Might be parsley. These are obviously garlic sticks. I'm stalling, but like, I want to look at the food real quick. Let's see. I want to say that this is hamburger steak. At least it looks like it. A full plate of it, though, probably not. I see some broccoli right here. And then let's see, what is this right here? Oh, this is the beverages. This is their beverages right here. Alright, we'll continue on with the dark shit. No crab sticks, Tad. Crabs. Yo, crab ragoon, so good. Someone just sent a chat and it got blocked by Automod, but like it's being held for review, but I cannot make heads or tails of what it is. Who is this person? What is this font? What is this even saying? It looks like rune symbols. I'm not exactly sure what to do. I can't understand what it's saying, so I'm sorry to this person, but I'm not gonna show that. That was unusual. I'm very sorry to that person if it was nothing and it was just a weird font, but like I couldn't understand what it was saying. Honestly, you gotta be careful with like runic symbols because if you rearrange them in the wrong way, it can leave a curse on you. Is it Oyashi Osama? No. I hope not. It's too early for Oyashi Osama to start showing up. He's gotta wait until like 3 a.m. when the normal paranormal stuff happens. Alright, let's continue. The victim of the first year was the overseer. A few weeks prior, he had an altercation with Mion Sanzaki-san. Multiple altercations. Ushi-san said that before that Mion had defied the Excuse me. Ushi-san said before that Mion defied the dam project vehement. God damn it. Vehemently. Curse, you're real good. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up. In the second year, a married couple who supported the project died in that accident, right? They had a daughter. Her name is Satoko Hojo-san. Huh? Satoko? Meaning... Satoko? Oishi-san's told me that my voice was too loud. Realized it as well and quickly quieted it down. The Shinto priest and his wife who died in the third year. You see, their daughter is Rika Furude-san. Rika-chan was the housewife who died in the fourth year. You know already, don't you? Was the step-aunt of Satoko Hojo-san. She was in her aunt and uncle's custody, as she had lost both of her parents in the accident. She lived in the victim's house. I could tell my lips were getting dry. I didn't even have the wits to keep my mouth from hanging agape. I had thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, but one that I could easily distance myself from. But clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet. The one who disappeared in the fourth year, by the way, was Satoko-san's older brother. What? Just a second. It took everything I had to finally say that. I gulped down a glass of water and once again wiped my face with a napkin. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. But Oishi-san was relentless. Instead of waiting for me to finish sorting out my feelings, he started speaking again. Last of the things I shouldn't have heard. All of the victims seem to be connected to your group of friends. That has to just be coincidence. Maibara-san, keep it down. Everyone's looking. Mion? Satoko? Rika-chan? So what if they're connected? You're telling me all of my friends... It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. Oh, Rena is different, isn't she? Rena isn't connected with the victims at all. Rena Ryugu-san was living in the suburb of Ibaraki Prefecture up until last year. Well, it's true she hadn't directly met any of the victims. He said it in a roundabout way. Is he saying she's also connected? Actually, I looked into her, but before Ryugu-san moved away to Hinamizawa, she was suspended from school. It seems she went through her school building and broke all of the windows. Rena did that? She broke all of the windows at her school? That same silly Rena had? I couldn't even imagine it. It seems that after her 3 days of suspension, she didn't return to school. She went to a neurologist and was diagnosed with dysautonomia. Fuck. I can't say that word right. I think I did the best I could with it. She was given weeks of counseling and medication. I wonder if it was something like a nervous breakdown. I'd heard that it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. Neither of those matched Rena's easygoing personality. And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all the conversations he had with Rena-san. It shows up. Quite a bit at that. What did? I pressed forward carelessly. There couldn't be anything more for me to regret. She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. Bum, bum, bum. I felt like someone's stone cold hand was caressing my back. Why? Excuse me. I need more coffee. Why? Why had Rena spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinamizawa? Seems that the Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost, appearing in her house every night, standing over her pillow, looking down at her. My mind froze. I couldn't process what I was being told. A while after that, she moved to Hinamizawa. Ah, that's right. She's not an outsider. Huh? According to the residency register, the Ryugu family used to reside in Hinamizawa. Rena-san moved to Ibaraki right after she finished elementary school. My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the static you see on a blank TV channel. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension. My bar-san, are you alright? Shall we stop? Those words brought me back. Couldn't let it end here. Now I understand Rena. Then, about the last victim, Tomitake-san. Who was he connected with? Irritated that one final reprisal. All of them. Have you forgotten my bar-san? Didn't you spend the night of the festival quite merrily? Quite a few of the officers saw you enjoying yourselves. There was nothing I could respond with. I fell silent as my brain turned to mush. We should get going. Ah, my bar-san, did you take your afternoon medicine? I had completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today until Oishi-san mentioned that. I got another glass of water and we left the shop after I checked it down. We got in the car and returned to Hinamizawa via the rough road. I never really paid attention when I was on my bike, but the cars normally shake this much. It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something. That big jolt from the difference in elevation of the road when it changed it from cement to dirt. I was certain that I heard Tomitake-san scream. I sat in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the car. I'll drop you off at your house. You missed school because you were ill, correct? My apologies for the long conversation. Why did you talk to me? Blurted out the question. Really, just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer. I did check with you first, didn't I? If we should just stop. Not that. Why did you reach out to me? I understood quite well that Oishi-san was investigating the string of suspicious incidents. But why was he telling me all this? I knew nothing and I couldn't help. Everything Oishi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I, just having moved here, know? By chance, there was a reason for Oishi-san to reach out to me. Then it would have to be that I look suspicious to Oishi-san. That was part of Mion's circle of friends. I'm retiring this year. I plan on moving away after retiring, as my grandma wants. So while I'm still in the case, I want to bring the truth behind this incident to light. So, Oishi-san, you suspect them, don't you? All of them. Oishi-san didn't really give me a response. It felt a little late, but I thought it was his way of showing a bit of consideration for my feelings. This is mostly my intuition from 30 years on the job. My Bara-san, you're the one in danger. Huh? I wanted to reply with, that was absurd, but in my downtrodden state, I couldn't bring myself to say it. I'll be retiring this year, so I won't be at the Wanton Nakashi next year. So I want to settle things. In other words, he was insinuating that on the next Wanton Nakashi, I might be the next victim. I've been warned by the chief as well. Each incident in the string of cases has been solved, so don't bring it up again. Or so I was told. This is the pressure that I'm facing. Pressure? From what? Someone in Hinamizawa. We've arrived. Is this fine? After some time, the car finally reached the path to my house. The clock read 2 p.m. I was surprised so little time had passed since we ate. It was hot outside the car. The tripping of the Higurashi hurt my ears. I won't mind if you just forgot everything I told you today. But I'm still going to keep investigating. I'll end Oyashiro-sama's curse this year. So you're saying I should contact you if anything happens? It's fine. Just contact me when you feel you have to, my Bara-san. I wasn't collected enough to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying it. Be sure to take it easy. I'm sorry for throwing all this at you while you're taking the day off because you're sick. You didn't really have any sort of response. I'll always be on your side. If anything, believe that. I'll be off now. Tires crunched over the dirt road as the car made a U-turn and disappeared into a cloud of kicked up dust. Felt like I was watching a boat, only throw me a lifesaver in a shark-infested... Damn it. Let me try that again. Felt like I was watching a boat, only throw me a lifesaver in shark-infested waters before disappearing into the distance. That was the first time I thought Oishi-san was being unfair. Telling me I was going to be the next victim, then just saying to contact him if something happened. This wasn't a criminal investigation. He was fishing. And I was just the bait dangling off their line. Would the fish be the perpetrator? Or was it really just Oyashiro-sama's curse? Either way, the bait would be swallowed whole. Damn it. I don't want to die. For some time I could do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left by the AC from the car. So, how are we feeling, everybody? We just got like a whole bunch of information thrown at us. Brr. Cold. Yeah, I'm putting my jacket on. I'm a little cold. This is wild. It is, yeah. There is a thread that connects all of our friends to the incidents. And we just gotta pull at it. I wonder how much time had passed since I laid down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. That moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. Mom was quite the worrywart. Maybe she had called many times, but just didn't notice it. Excuse me. Hello? This is the Mybara residence. Ah, he's alive. Hello? This is Mion. How are you doing? Is this one of Keiichi's friends? Keiichi is resting now, but shall I put him on? Huh? Is this his dad? Sorry. Idiot. You fell for it. Huh? Keiichi-chan? After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together. Except, I was suspicious of her, even as we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me. I'm relieved that you seemed well. Rena was really worried, you know. Satoko-chan was happy and said you got what you deserved. We share a good laugh, but at the same, when they're not looking, we give them the bombastic side eye. Excuse me. Rika-chan said how unfortunate he's sick. Heh, looks like everyone was making a big deal out of it. Well, you know. So, Kei-chan. Is now a bad time to come pay you a visit? A visit? No, it's okay. It's not like I'm dying. My grandma made a ton of mochi, you see. I told to share them. So, I'll bring you some. Hey now, you'll catch my cold. Not to worry. Both Ren and I are too stupid to catch a cold. See you. Be there in a bit. She hung up cheerfully. Oh, this reminds me of a JonTron meme. Something something if you catch my cold. She hung up cheerfully. Ren is coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was so concerned with meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Mion. Oh, I remember what's about to happen. I remember this. I heard the doorbell and 10 minutes later. We're about to, one of the shoes are about to drop. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that. How are you feeling? Did you take your medicine and rest? Did just that. Thank goodness you look well. I was worried. Sorry. I'll be fine by tomorrow. Mian showed a complete lack of concern for someone who was recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. Seeing his review of a bootleg plug-and-play consoles. Oh yeah, that episode was hilarious. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions. I thought we might hang out for a bit, but looks like you're not quite in the condition for it. You don't say. Seemed like my face appeared a bit sullen. Then, here, Keiichi-kun. These are the mochi Mi-chan's grandma made. Rena handed out a package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about 5 in here. It's quite hefty. Ah, thanks. Send my regards to your grandma, Mian. It's the first time I've seen vtuber. Let's see, I don't think I've seen that one, but I'll have to check it out. Yep. Ah, there's one that I made in there as well. I wonder if Keiichi-kun can guess which one. This is Kei-chan's homework since he missed the club meeting today. There are letters on each mochi, so I'll ask you tomorrow. Were you checking if I was feeling better, or did you just come here for club activities? Yep, looking fine. Guess you'll be able to make it tomorrow. That's good. Alright, I'll have to check it out when I have the time. Man, what are you going to do if my fever comes back because of your shenanigans? Mi-chan, we shouldn't be making such a racket. Let's go. The other people here will get angry. Both of them thought my parents were home. It was because the entranceway was a mess. You're right. Let's get going. Ah, by the way, Kei-chan. Yeah? What did you eat for lunch? Granny put some demon magic in that mochi. The sudden question startled me, and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I had never seen her like that. It was a highly unsettling visage. But why? Why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane it was almost meaningless. The way she said it, it was almost like she didn't even care about what I ate. I ate out. She must have suspected that I was with Oishi-san. Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, then they'd read too deep into it. So I tried answering as quickly as possible. Except contrary to the efforts I made, there was a pause before they replied. So you ate out for lunch, Keiichi-kun? The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp. It was to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew. That's how it looked to me. Well, was it good? Why are you asking me this? Mia was speaking in such an unusually low tone. Almost as if she knew I had eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could have known where I was. Seems you were with a rather austere-looking older guy. Who was he? The package was a mochi I was holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale. Oh? Oh? Keiichi-kun? Who was he? Could it be the person from before? I wonder. I could feel the back of my throat going dry. That was no longer a bluff. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything. How do you know that? Took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking. Because there's nothing this old man doesn't know. Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever. So, Kei-chan, what did you talk about? It seems like you got pretty worked up over it, too. Oh, hi, Coco. We weren't talking about you guys. It didn't have anything to do with you or Rena. Isn't it a bit strange to hear our names come up, even though nobody asked about that? Rena's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much, it felt like it was going to explode. Well, whatever you're trying to hide, this old man already sees through it all. Remember that. I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly. Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good. I think you should lie down. That's true. We should both head back home. I'm scared. As if nothing had happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I hadn't moved a muscle since I had dropped them package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare, as if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was just about closed, it opened again slightly with a sudden creak, making my heart race once again. A single eye peered through that narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish eyes peered through me once again. See you, Kei-chan. Yeah. I'd hate it if you missed school tomorrow. Alright? Thud. The door closed. Ah! I don't care about the new Sims pack. Go away. My phone suddenly vibrated and I got an email from EA about the new Sims pack, but I don't know, I saw like I started hearing some things, so I like yeah. Notification kind of startled me. I wasn't able to move a muscle, even after their low laughter died in the distance. And silence once again enveloped the room. You good? Oh yeah, I just got so startled. Ugh. Even the second time of reading this, I'm still very unsettled by all that. Big EA is listening. No! Mion's grandma's lurking around the house. Yo, a demon grandma would be like... A demon grandma might be like a good basis for a story. Probably been done to death though. How was that? I tried to voice act as well as I could. I keep being afraid that I was trying to I'm afraid of being too loud, so some of the voice acting I do kind of falls flat, I think. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Oishi-san and I talked about. Oh, wait, let me try again. They knew what Oishi-san and I talked about? Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard. From the beginning, when Oishi-san met me. It's good? Thank you. Just as Mian said, I couldn't hide anything. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oishi-san about one thing. And they were warning me that was unnecessary. What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? Incidents involving Oyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole. As well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No. More precisely, that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against? What kind of nonsense am I thinking about? I hit my own face with enough force that it let out a loud slap. If only that would wake me from this nightmare. But for some reason, it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down. Calm down. Settle down. And sort things out. The reason Mion knew I was eating lunch with Oishi-san was probably because someone from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mion I was there. That made the most sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous when I met Oishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. He's rationalizing. Not a good thing to do, but probably necessary if he wants to keep his sanity. Oh wait. No. That was wrong. That was wrong. I had to think about that for a second. Yep, he is. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the usual mild-mannered Rena, and was just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up in like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen. Sorry, I had to yawn in the middle of that. So I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think they're a good bunch of people. When I just moved here, I couldn't make heads or tails of everything. They were really kind to me. Rena was really kind, and always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was really pretty cute. Mion was also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender, and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. Talking about not getting bored. Rambunctious Satoshi was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Rika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing of the better untold secrets of Hiramizawa from Oishi-san and Tomitake-san, when I was told about Yashua-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oishi-san that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. After that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started getting weird after Oishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. And I even shouldn't have heard about the past incidents from Tomitake-san the night of the Watanagashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity. If I just hadn't. That's right. So that's why they... Tomitake-san, why is that word censored? Damn, I'm so sleepy. We're getting like some excellent sound effects here. That impudent outsider speaking to the likes of me after everyone went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. Though, probably Oishi-san as well. for trying to unearth what everybody was warning me was better left buried. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course, a guy like that is going to be... But both Tomotaki-san and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those guys should just fall to Oyasho-sama's curse and just... It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. Okay, so we went from denial to blame, and then we round back up to acceptance. It wasn't their fault. Keiichi is going through all the emotions right now. It wasn't their fault. 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 All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. That one's still green. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. He's spiraling. I just had like a mini spiral there too. I'm sorry. The DBZ abridged sound bites have been trending on TikTok lately. Alright, let's get back into this. I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling, like I had just gotten up. But the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll go to Small? Goddamn, I keep tripping over my words. It's kind of nuts. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It'll be definitely fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them, after all. That reminds me. I need to eat those mochi. I hope I'm ever able to tell which one Rena made. I remembered the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But, wow. Our club did delivery. That was something else. Pick up the package and... I picked up... I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh. This was kind of a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written from left to right on the newspaper. A, B, C, D, and E. Now then, they said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena's had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one of the mochi that was made very neatly. So, well, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out. Looks like this challenge depends on whether or not this one is Rena's. Calm down and think even harder. So, I think Keiichi is like, Granny got those demon. I think we're going to meet Mion's grandma at some point. She's supposed to be an important figure in the town from, I guess, from what we've been picking up from this, and well, what I picked up in the second chapter. I think what Keiichi's doing is he's finding anything to focus on to try to forget what just happened. Yo, maybe Grandma's a kitchen witch. Oh, maybe Ren is a kitchen witch. But Demon Bean Mochi. Red Bean. I heard that red bean paste is really good. I've been wanting to try. It. See, Mion said her grandma made a ton of them and was told to give some out, if I remembered correctly. So that meant 4 of these were from that large batch. Maybe. Then what about Rena? She probably only made 1. So she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning the one Brenna made was this one, E. For a moment, I thought it might have been a trap Mion laid, as she knew I picked up on it, but that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it, since she said Rena made it. It probably wasn't a trap. Alright. My tea is ready too. I start with the defending champ, Mion's grandma. Let's see. Yum, yum, yum. Not bad. Smooth bean paste and soft, chewy texture left a little to be desired. Tea I drank afterward also accentuated to the experience. This was quite an exquisite piece of work. It's like pairing wine to cheese. Pairing wine with cheese. Cheese. Damn it, all this food is making me hungry again. Now, how about Rena's? The creation was so delicate. One would think it was a high class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first a bite. Red bean sounds delicious. Yum. This was quite a difficult one to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there was a little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factors would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena the challenger. The size you just couldn't get enough of. I only had 1 bite of Rena's. It would probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe there was something hidden inside that could cause an upset. Seems my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. It didn't feel like something edible, so I reached in with my fingers and grabbed it. What? What was this? Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. I slammed it against the wall, causing the red bean jam to splatter. Then, after sticking for a moment, it slid down to the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a vile act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. At first, I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. It's also a bit too hard to be hair. It's thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a bit of metallic sheen on one end of it. Yes. There was a hole for where thread goes through. Like it was a sewing needle. Yes, that's right. It looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really did just look just like a sewing needle. Huh? What did I mean looked very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? I couldn't answer. But a voice inside me knew already, and let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly, I tasted something metallic and felt a pricking pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my throat and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly, I felt the urge to vomit. Sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth, and after rising in agony, I was somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was intensely throbbing. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splart. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometrical patterns of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out to the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under the covers until morning. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or a warning or a reminder. Nothing as simple as that. What had happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion and the others, they consider me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. I won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep as I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless marsh. If he had swallowed that, that would have been... That would have been really bad. Let's view new tips. Also, I gotta take a drink. I haven't taken another drink in a hot minute. What's a drug that makes you commit suicide? I hate that I have to censor myself saying this, but here we are. True, things are hitting the fan. And the mochi is hitting the wall. Ooh. Felt very tense while I was reading that. The fun thing, living with, certain mental disabilities, you read something a second time and things like start to click for you that they hadn't before. It's like it's a little bit of an eye opener on like some subtext, but like yeah. Oh yeah, before I YouTube, I'm probably gonna get in trouble with like the big shots running YouTube, but like for reading all this, but like before I continue on, is anybody familiar with the tree in Australia that like causes such intense pain that people would rather end themselves rather than deal with that pain anymore? That tree is covered in fiberglass fibers. No, wait, fiberglass fibers. Fiberglass fibers? What the fuck? Not fiberglass, but like glass-like fibers, I guess. Very needle-like. So if you get that under your skin, it's there forever, and slight movement can make the pain flare back up. I believe it's like counted as a poisonous tree. Actually, yeah, technically it is poisonous. It's impossible to get those little glass needles out of your skin. So you're just gonna have to like, if you so much as brush up against that tree, then you're living with that pain for the rest of your life. Just thought that would be a fun fact to point out for the class. All right, big oof. Like everything not Australia is out to kill people. Even the plant life is out to kill people. Let's cut to the chase. Is there a drug that causes someone to kill themselves? Not directly, no. Oh, wait. I think that was another person speaking that first line. I don't know. It's still hard to like tell who's speaking. That's quite a roundabout response. You're saying there's one that does it indirectly? Something that puts you in a suicidal mental state. Who? Oh my god. That's quite a roundabout response. You're saying there's one that does it indirectly? Something that puts you in a suicidal mental state like that? That's hard to say. What would a suicidal mental state be? Like, oh yeah, this old game, so probably outdated, maybe a little bit. Not sure. Things have changed a lot since then, but like, I can't tell if this is correct or it's just like, I should probably stop talking because I don't know what I'm talking about. Like a person with a serious bipolar disorder. It's weird that people are most likely to attempt suicide when swinging from depression to mania. Clinical depression and bipolar disorder are different. Clinical depression indicates a prolonged state of depression. Whereas bipolar disorder is characterized by a passive depressive state accompanied by a very active manic state. Individuals with clinical depression suffer from low self-esteem and quite pessimistic, but rarely commit suicide. Yeah, I feel like this is wrong. Though I'm not 100% sure. Nor does mania on its own lead to suicide. That has an opposite effect, filling the person with confidence and make them feel as though they're walking on air. Thus, they do not want to commit suicide. Yep, sounds wrong. That's interesting. Neither state causes suicide, but when the condition changes, they might do so. Maybe mistranslated. It might be. Also, mental research, medical research has evolved over the years since this game was put out on Steam. So when you're playing an older game, it's probably this is gonna be something that you're gonna have to come across every now and then. Let's see. It says the game was released on Steam, so either this game is as old as I think it is, and it was just released on Steam in 2015, or it was released in 2015, and the retro feel just made me think it was older than it actually was. I don't know which one it is, and I'm too lazy to look into it. I kind of don't want to read this anymore. It's kind of making me depressed. Yeah, none of this sounds right with what I know now. Uh I'll keep going through it in case anybody wants to pause and read it. But yeah, same. Mhm. Tweaked. It just needs to be tweaked. Oh yeah. This game was released in the 80s, so maybe that is like part of it. Here's one thing that they might. Nah, that's stupid. They would have got that on a forensic report. Never mind. It would have caught like poison or something, or like maybe a weird plant that did this. But that might come up in a toxicology report. Oh, okay. Here's something interesting. When they were talking about him getting knocked upside the head, it did make me think back to a clip from The Simpsons where like Homer got revived and he was going, then they started walking around and he knocked over his trash can. So yeah, you get knocked out and like you wake up and you're massive theory on my end, but like you get knocked out and you wake up in a very confused and befuddled state, and then you see like a situation before you that makes you sense that you're in danger, then yeah, you probably are gonna like lash out at like anything thing and everything that's close to you, and then like anything could happen after that. That's just one theory. It's not a very good theory, but it is there. Waking up like in the Hangover movies. Oh, like when they had like that tiger in the room with them. The tiger's just chill, man. At least I think it was. I haven't seen like the full movie. I just remember that one bit from it. Y'all know tigers and lions can actually have babies together? They're called the babies are called ligers. Ooh, that sounded wrong to say. That's a weird word. Why did they call them that? Hmm? Those guys just now. They had national diet badges. It's a prefectural assembly member and city councilor Sonozaki. That's interesting. The prefectural assembly member and city councilor are related. It's dirty is what it is. Shouting at each other's names during elections. While one is up for election, the other one holds an assembly, and they double up their campaign activities. Blatantly. I don't know much about this stuff, but isn't that against the rules of the election? As long as they have no prior consultation, there are no restrictions on their political activities. Kuma-chan, the investigation division is going to be pretty rough for you. You should at least brush up on your election policies. I'm not suited for the intelligence division. 'Cause I'm dumb. There was a prefectural assembly member, Sonozaki, and city councilor Sonozaki. Oh, he's not speaking. Also, the mayor of Hinamizawa. All of them involved in the Sonozaki family. What crap. It's a political family. Ugh, man. Y'all ever get like that feeling like you get like a weird high from and you don't even know how you're getting that high? I feel like I'm on edge. Looks like they're being seen off by the department chief and the deputy chief. Came to me. That night, the chief invited me along to get some Odin. I thought that was it. Like pipegrass high? Pipegrass. I learned that existed in my old place some years back. Pipe gas. Oh. Landlord repaired it, but I was loopy. I don't feel loopy. I just kind of feel energized all of a sudden. Kind of feel like getting goosebumps all over my skin. But also like getting like hyper focused on something. The pipes leak gas, yeah. Yeah. Do y'all know that Channel Brew? A while back, he was talking about like carbon monoxide poisoning and how it can have some really weird effects, like making you think your house is haunted and stuff. One of the stories he talked about was a guy who was apparently leaving sticky notes to himself, but he didn't remember leaving the sticky nuts. Sticky nuts. God damn it. That's what it was, monoxide. Oh, damn. Whew. Brew is wild. I like the way he tells. I like the way he like frames everything and how he tells the story. But yeah, the guy was leaving like sticky note reminders to himself. And apparently he was like warning himself about the landlord or something. But yeah, he was making the sticky notes himself and he just didn't remember he was doing it. That was a frightening. That had to have been like a really frightening experience. Ooh, I like this picture. Oh my god, that looks so good. I think I've said before, but I really like the watercolor art style in this game. Monoxide does make you paranoid. I had a friend who had a problem with leaks too. You know, those times when I thought I was living in a haunted house. I kind of want to, but also don't want to believe it was carbon monoxide poisoning happening in those houses. Either one is a bad situation. Guy was aggressively paranoid. See it. I remember a little bit about the effects that those people were going through. What was I about to say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry. I guess I can wrap this up with like a PSA. If you feel like any strange goings on, you might want to check if if your house is having like some carbon monoxide leaking in. I probably should have worded that better. But yeah, it's always good to like be prepared and have a tool where you can like test if the levels are good. Alright, let's get back into this. You have a lot of connections, so you might have heard something. Did you? No. Not a thing. Ma'am, I'll take a tofu fritter and a fish cake. Counselor barked at me and the police chief said. Oh my, is that so? Ma'am, I'll take another bowl. Prefectural Assembly members Sonozaki and city councilors Sonozaki were both intimidating. Our snot-nosed career police chief couldn't even handle being yelled at by them. They're like Yakuza. Petition with your name came up regarding the investigation into the Higurashi incident is being handled. Goodness me. I have not the faintest. No need to play dumb. You're reopening the past cases regarding Higurashi, aren't you? I've already got my hands full with Tomatake's death, actually. Really? If that's true, then there's no problem. There was a period of silence. And we were silent. We made headway on our food and drink. Phew, that was quite the feast. This month has been a bunch of losses for me, so my wallet was feeling the pinch. Much appreciated. Nah, it's nothing. Tell me a good horse again. I've been on the same one as you. I haven't been doing well there lately. I haven't been able to read all the horses at all. Taxi! I'm going by train. The police chief is taking a taxi. I have my own car, but it'd be rash to drive it home. Yo, are taxis, like, still a thing? Like, are taxi drivers still in business? Or has Uber and... what's the other one? Has Uber taken over? Can't blow it right before retirement with a DUI. Even though he could still rattle off, it looked like his legs were ready to go. Were already goo. Pushing him into the cab, I gave the driver the police chief's address. Somewhere in business? Okay. Somewhere still going strong. Hold off against the evil Ubers for now. What am I even saying? For legal purposes, everything I just said was nonsense. Well, see you again tomorrow. Happy New Year. Oh, wait, that was... Well, see you again tomorrow. Happy New Year. Uishi-san. Yeah. Past incidents have all been closed. Stop lumping them all together. Those villagers half believe it really is a curse. Well, I'm not convinced. You're going to be retiring next year, aren't you? Weren't you going to pay off your mortgage with your pension and move up to Hokkaido with your mom? Mother pines to return to the land of her birth. It's the least I can do. The pension? Well, it'll let me enjoy myself in Susukenu. Police chief may issue a special retirement salary raise, he says. A public servant's pension is calculated based on their monthly salary. So if you were to get a raise right before your retirement, your bonus to your salary would be inflated. And you'd get a heavy surplus of funds that tends to be how it's done around here. Of course, it's not a custom. That's not a custom that's thought of highly. Difference between the bonus and the pension is quite a bit. I'd expect from nothing less exemplary from our egghead chief. But, well, they say our salary is compensation for our hard work. But in the end, it really just has to do with the passage of time. That's not really something I can laugh at, but I laughed through it anyway. I don't think it's anything exemplary, but given how you've worked hard, how hard you've worked, it's not odd that you're getting that much of a pension. I'd like to get that much myself. If I can get it, well, of course I'd want it. You'll get it. You're an adult after all. Sorry for holding you up here, driver. Thank you very much. Closed the door roughly, interrupting the chief's conversation a bit rudely. I think a little bit in there, I lost track of who was talking. It looked like the chief still had something to say, but he just smiled wryly and waved. I waved in return. The cab sped up gradually and soon disappeared among the sea of lights. Oh man. I wonder if I really can repay that loan. Huh. So that might be one reason for him going through all this trouble. He's going after the big pension, big retirement check. Yeah, the sound of the crickets. Those cricket sounds make me sleepy. True. If I did mix up the speaking voices for who's who, I do apologize for that. It can be really, when you're in the zone, it can be really hard to keep track of it. It's 11:47 where I am, or PM. It is 2:48 where I am, in the AM. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. So, thank y'all for watching, and thank you for joining. Like, comment, subscribe if y'all want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye!